Bantu podcast tukomyewo mugamba mutya sa happy new year 2024 intercessor Joyous Lambert nange we tuli tugenda kunyumyamu tulabe mwaka gubatambulira tutya. Africa Cup yatandise simira mwina empya gye mulabyeko naye one movie empya za fulme nyingi actually mbadde nja kubabuza waliwo kumwerabye Big Keeper Jason Statham. Movie ya kabi enyuma anyway sinti ya manyo but it's you know it's a good movie
eyo mbadde njirinda gi streaming mbadde nga ndaba aneno yayo sinagiraba naye nalaba commercial yayo.
Yeah,
so
it's a good
trailer
movie.
yayo. I've watched the trailer and I can't wait.
Julius oli otya?
Ndi sebo muri mutya mukulike
wiki yabaddemu sino muyitirivu kuviira ddala ku Sunday eri you know but that's New England.
Bulamba okubeera mu New England ofuna buli part okafuna weather wise enkuba na bikola
you know bifuna
cold and beautiful weather spring byonna tubufuna bwonna tewaleka sigalayo.
yali Mark Twain yagamba if you want to know how the weather is in New England just wait a minute. I think yali Mark Twain era beera New England. Mark Twain oba omukwabo ba asaba amaanyi abo naye kyekyo olaba nti week emu osofuna snow, Tuesday n'ofuna omusana nga mungi, Wednesday n'ofuna enkuba nga nyingi, then n'ofunayo ba webityo. I don't think it's any other part of the world apart from New England.
Whether you're very bipolar.
Nga kyekiriwo Shafi mpira waganyo asumya yazanya omupiira weekend eno.
Tetusambe
Bali Dubai bali kujanyama.
Tulimu I hear bagita winter break, something like that.
This is the first time England put up a winter break.
The planes.
No, katolaba ola wabaddewo okuwummula like they breaking off completely. Bataddewo FA Cup games okitegeera then ne bayongeramu round ya premiership, but if you realize waliwo break ya maanyi compared to what we were doing before. Dulinga abakusinga waliwo empira nga 8 awo kumukumu. This time if you look at it empira giba mitono. So premiership ediramu ddala completely I think on next Saturday. Okudiramu
the 20th. Yeah.
But Arsenal yandibadde weering erina omupiira just like Man erina omupiira gwa next week bayina FA Cup. But because Arsenal yavamu FA Cup mefuna another week off. That's how it is. So premiership yo yenine ebadde ku break.
But I think it was a good thing. Like abantu bafunemu ka break. Ujukira England wali complaining ennyo ina fatigue mungi, players babera fatigue nnyo bazanya emipiira mingi nnyo as other teams bali awe on winter break bo basigala bazanya.
Ale weewunya bali baga bassaako Super League.
Ayo bali balina ogigoberawo. Eyo bali balina ogigoba.
Kati olubandi kikoze batya?
And of course olawa Florentino Perez boba kyayagala okiteekawo, but it's not feasible.
It's not.
Mohamed Salah bagenze mu African Cup of Nations. The further you go, the more wear and tear on your body. Ate bw'okomawo premiership egenda kuba eri at the peak because now everyone is fighting for positions. So I know Maona joiningirawo ne Liverpool. So by the time the season ends, okumugamba nti ate simanyi Super Cup, simanyi Super League, omuntu oyo amumenya bumenya.
I know, but guy abasasula sene nyingi naye if you really look keenly they don't make that much money. They sente zaabwe bambi bazikolerera okubeera nti olinga ali ku kisulo mu mwaka omulamba almost 8 months ng'olinga ali mu kisulo olina okusaba njaga agendako ka olina abamu babagaana okukwata ku bakazi baabwe for a minute kuba ebyo ebintu byonoona aneeno byonoona fitness kwegamba sente bazikola naye teri kyangu mu nsi muno gwe
naye nga simanyi oba mulaba egeemu yaani Africa Cup of Nations games Egypt ya drawings wabaddeyo azanya Ivory Coast ya wanguddeyo naye game esinzo Nigeria nayo ya drawings
Nigeria oh my god
naye omupiira ogusinzo Ghana Cape Verde
sijirabyo
Ghana bagikubye 2-1 yes
oh my god
omupiira guyu imagine Cape Verde
that can beat Ghana
okitegeera like nga gugwa kagaye badde Gary Rodriguez akubyawo nga gugwa bwe guti ate bwe bwasoose oteeba Ghana nefuna equalizer mubadde mu reverse manyi biki but then nga gugwa Gary Rodriguez n'abakuba winner yo 2-1
naye gwe tolabye nti nani eno ne Egypt ebuuse musanga ne Egypt terwa kufuna penalty
Egypt nayo yawonye Egypt nayo yawonye
to get that goal
but
yeah
I think you know Africa Cup of Nations again are very very tight.
That's why
very competitive. Game ezisinga ezisoose zonna zibaddemu draw. Egypt ya drawings, Nigeria drawings, ogwa Ghana nako katono kugende mu draw. Ivory Coast neyo yabadde ezanya Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau naffe twaje kubiranga.
Game ngolinga ekikopo kiri omanye kisaawe ekyo kikwongera ne stamina to win the game.
Oh yeah. Naye nga byebyo mpozi nga mwinayo mmwe kyemuwuliddeyo amawulire amapyawo but that's it mainly. Waliyo
omupiira mugulabidde ku channel kinze nanoonyako nga naye njagala kulaba gwa Ivory Coast yesterday.
Giri ku YouTube
yokka.
YouTube TV naye kati olina okwongerako ka package. Olina okwongerako ka package ako. Yeah, naye nga n'ogwa gundi gubaddeko actually awo Super Cup final I think.
Ogwa Madrid ne Barcelona. Sigumazeeko nkome first half.
Madrid nungi nnyo.
Agenza okuva mu first half nga bali 3 ebadde 3-1.
3-1 Madrid is really good. They were just dissecting them. Bellingham is going to win the Ballon d'Or. That's
my the thing is noticing Chembadde ngamba umaru nga tonnaja. Nyono coach wa Barcelona basamba omupiira gwe gumu ne anyono ne Ateta Xavi bakyatukubisa nnyo kubanga omupiira gwabwe bakyali nnyo mu tikitaka bagala kuteebera mu box ate tebamixinga mukuba waliwo ttiimu ezizannya bwezityo yes omupiira ogwo gufaanana bulungi nti otambuza omupiira naye olina okuyiga okuba through passes olina okuba ne midi ekuba passes eziri behind balls ate ne ba striker bo balina okuba nga balina emisinde tudde bw'oba oyagala okuwangula emipiira enteebe eyo y'olina okukozesa naye kakati Xavi akyali ku tikitaka tugende paka wetunatuka mu boxi tusale paka wetuteeba same thing Ateta is doing right now. Ateta asambye omupiira mulungi yes fine akyusizza naye nga at the end of the day ayagala kuteeba kati tiimu zonna zamuyize ziyiwa buyiwa defender mu box.
Naye
kasamba paka ku goal line yennyini wetapini
like olabye omupiira gwe bakubidde Rashford omwana gwatemedde Rashford pass through pass ezo pass bwezityo Harry Kane yalinga azikuba mu Tottenham era nga Song amanyi kati wetaga striker today reading aba midfielder nti ono bwe mulaba mu direction weti mpima wano the mpira Aston Villa kati gwesamba gwe mpira West Ham gwesamba era oba towenywezeza balina ne bano abadduka ku wing kati bawinga baabwe bo bajja ne batwala defense yonna ne bakuba omupiira bagusse emabega awo wakati wabaawo ateeba naye akati ffe gye tunaakuma okutambuza ate tudde emabega ate tudde mu maaso ote wakati bano bo barelaxinga we bagamba nti kakati tumwatakinga ono osiba kutuuka kyova Arsenal right now egenda neesiba ekisenge kumpi eddakiika 8 naye eddakiika eyo 2-3 bali tiimu endala ze bafunye chance bakozesa egi ne babakuba so
tereevu anyway omupiira gwegwo katulabe season gye naggwera ekyali mpanvu
already naluzinzaani eno sikyalina hope nti Arsenal egenda kuwangula this year sigirina
toggwa mu maanyi naawe budde bukyali
sikulimba sigirina sijja kulimba kubanga there is no Ateta senga abadde coach nga Klopp oba ono omusajja wa Bayern Munich to share abasajja bakyusa omupiira mu ddakiika oba ani ono owa Man City bakyusa omupiira anytime tebali stuck nti Ateta ali so adamant nti oba nkiyite ki nti ye tayagala mugamba kyemamugamba ayagala asigale ne kyalowooza mu mutwe era kyova olaba atwala ekigambo nti trust the process literally ye abagamba mu trusting ekyalaba mu mutwe kijja ku manifestinga of which he's succeeded okubeera nti atutuusaako watutuusizza he's done some good naye alina okumixinga here and there
okumugjawo if you had the powers ng'olina ne sente na the decision oyinza muleetera coach ki tiimu gyetera coach ki
Tuchel owa Bayern
naye yamanyi
Thomas Tuchel oyo omusajja gwempa Arsenal mu bacoach right now Tuchel sijja gamba Guardiola cause I know Guardiola is up there agenda wali sente Guardiola awali sente wagenda ate kati right now Arsenal siye tiimu eri awo nti
siye ina sente
erina sente naye siye tiimu eta sente
ngenda kugamba ekintu kimu Chafi, sorry. Consider one thing that soccer in some ways also culture. It's a culture in itself.
Yeah.
The longest serving coach of Arsenal yali azanya kapiira ki. Bw'okatunuulira n'otulira n'aka Arteta kati. Do you think it's any different?
Not so much.
For all those years when Wenger was there, Arsenal was known for one thing. Tambuza mpaka mu box yo ne bakwongera mpaka ebaguteekamu.
Thank you. Kituufu. But that was the time when it worked. Guardiola when ali mu Barcelona, he was winning with tiki-taka. Ochiwulira? Yes. Right now, system ekyuse. And you can see how Barcelona is going down. Okitegeera? System olina okufine oyinza okukozesa tiki-taka. Tiki-taka mulungi ku maaso nti you can possess the ball. You can look a very good team. Naye when you find a good coach aku defending, tiki-taka now throws you out. Tiki-taka luli yali akola kuba it was new at the time. Abo naba Wenger we bamusomesezeza nga it's new nga buli muntu akyegomba. Even today ku maaso bw'oba olabye omupiira ogwo Arsenal right now games zonna zeeruzinze. If you looked at the stats, it was the best team. But could they score? No, they could not. Because teba making a defense so afraid. Teba bulyo like baba manyide. Ochitegera.
It took me watching today's game at Tottenham to realize that culture is very hard to change. United beautiful soccer. Everyone knows.
Yes.
We play for beauty.
Yeah.
From pressing for the ball so hard because to Guagala to passing it.
Yeah.
Every time we've tried to pass nga Arsenal, against Arsenal, we lose like 4-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in our coaching since Fergie left. The only way we were in this game is we went back to going for a long ball. United wetu webadde kuva Fergie we yaliwo mpaka kati. Like tuleseba coach abayina different mentalities. Naye for some reason we always sit back and we play for the counter. Long ball in the wing. Winger crosses the ball or cuts in to make a good pass, striker scores. That's us. It will take such a long time to change that fabric because it's more like culture. Katimwe, Edu CS, sporting director. Edu is coming from Wenger's club.
Yes.
They were interviewing a coach again. Mugamba. This is how Arsenal plays.
We have our own, the way we play.
Hey, Manu, Fergie achari wo.
Hey, Auntie Kati.
But you lose 2 games, Fergie is going to meet you Akugambe, boss.
Otukubya.
Like that is how Arsenal has played historically.
Oli mutuufu naye waliwo akabulamu kati njagala olabe Wenger's time when we won so many games. Yes, we were playing that kind of play. Naye twalina abasajja abawanvu mu striking nga batwala emipiira baholding omupiira. Twalina Thierry Henry, twalina Pires. Nga we bakwata omupiira badduka misinde. Yes, wano bakubanga tiki-taka naye nga we bagamba nti kati ku scoringa. They were doing overlaps. Ochiwulya kati ekyo kye kikyabulamu right now. Akuko kake katwikinga. Ke katwiki ketubulamu right now with Arsenal. Arsenal right now yekyayina abaana abali so frail. Like wotunuulira timu ya Arsenal n'obatunuulira physically balinga baana bato. They are too thin, they are too light, they are too young. Bwotunuulira abasajja be basamba nabo emyaka tegikola naye bwotunuulira abasajja be basamba nabo bawanvu banene. Nze njagala ombuulire tiimu ki zonna ezirina kati ogenda n'otunuulira Jesus is good naye agenda n'ayimirira ne zi defense nga bonna bamubulinga na bubulinzi bamukwata ne kagwa bwali ne kagwa. Ochitegeera, the only time Jesus gets away with the ball is if ali afunye omupiira nga omuntu amu-attacking ali like 5 amuliko bamuwadde space. Naye bino bwebanga one on one nti tight marking kya receiving omupiira oguvudde oba owa keeper oba ki, he usually loses those whatever. Ochiwulya kati Henry yakubanga abantu, he was tall, he was strong. Wainanga backup n'otunuulira ekisambi kye, like when he stood he was a man. Ochiwulya waina Ian Wright, even till now omulaba nti musajja ali stuck. Ochiwulya that was the forwards that we had. Naye kakati oinaka Martinelli, yes he's good, naye Kalusubi. Ochiwulya tulina Odegaard, yes he's good naye nga akyabulamu okubuilding a muscle. Ochiwulira
Odegaard ayimiridde ssebo
si nnyo ayimiridde naye si nnyo ssebo.
Like I could name 3 Arsenal players before Odegaard nga Odegaard abasinga ne physical stature
really
bali bamusinga
kubanga right now bwe ntunuulira mu Arsenal abantu abalina physical stature is Saliba, Gabriel ono defender, ne tubeera ne Tamiyasu, Ben White,
kyengezako kugamba nti Odegaard position ye gyazannya ssebo
no. He's good. Don't get me wrong. He's good with his feet.
Chimala.
He's good with his feet. He's just too fast. Naye kakati Odegaard bw'omussa mu midfield ne KDB. N'omussa mu midfield ne baba ni bano ba.
Kati ate Odegaard ne Kante. Ngolo Kante.
Ngolo Kante. Okay. Kati awo Ngolo Kante naye nga omusajja mufirika yali emmere ye yali akawunga ke akaluba. Ngolo Kante akaluba. Okiwulira? No, tebenkana sebo.
Ngolo Kante naye kasajja katono.
Ne kato oganda.
No, onagamba KDB ne aneno.
Ne Odegaard.
KDB sebo tebasobola kwema.
Tebenkana. Neka anyway. KDB akaluba mukko.
Kwe KDB akaluba alina physical stat ate nekirala nze nina ekintu kye negomba ku Bayern Munich when they bring players kati nkakuwa a good example waliwo ekikyafula mu physicality ya Arsenal tunuulira Musiala bw'omucomparinga ne abazanyi baffe they are the same age same stature about Segera. Physical looks, they're the same. Naye Musiala akaluba. Because Bayern Munich eina training yayo gyekola basitulira ddala ebyuma bagumiza ddala abantu.
But do you think Jamal would survive the Premier League?
He would. If he keeps the workout jebakola. If he keeps the workout jebakola mu Bayern.
Ngojeko Man City ayinza surviving am team ndala nga mmeka.
Asobola okusurviving a West Ham. Go Musiala omumanyi gwe.
Jamal Musiala mumanyi nnyo.
But he's frail.
He's really good.
Nayali strong.
Jamal
tarwala tamala gagwa.
Azanya kyenda kizibu. He's
just flowing all the time. Neche nkugamba. Anaye akapira kenyama tekakyagoba. Premiership they dominated with short guys. Spain again and they winning buli kintu up to the World Cup. Ngati bayina ngomuntu asinga obuwanvu ye Carlos Puyol eyali captain waabwe mabega defender. Ompira again of recent 10 years back. The best team in the Premiership is Man City. Ne Man City tekuba mpira gwa mubanga.
Tekuba mpira gwa mubanga naye abasajja bonna tunuulira Man City rebuilt. Nge emaze okujjawo baani bano bamuyitaani ono yali ateeba ennyo omu Argentina.
Aguero was short. Naye Man City yaddamu ne kasita yajjawo abo abantu neddamu ne rebuilding gwe tunuulira ba Akanji bawanvu banene ba defense yonna abasajja bawanvu okiwulira n'otunuulira KDB n'otunuulira Haaland nkubulire yes yayinako tiimu eri yali eyakabe yaba Bernardo Silva omulala abasajja bumpi nga butono
nga bumpi naye bulina okubanga bulina aneno nga buli physically fit kati
sakasa omusajja ayimiridde
right now kitusumbuwa fitness Arsenal kisumbuwa Arsenal wallahi fitness sikulimba fitness
katubaleke abasanaye Arsenal tuyinza obutamalaako nammwe naye kakati Julio wiki eri wali ogenda tunyumeza before we actually wiki ekyo twaliwo sikyekyo but the week before twaleka tugamba ogenda kujja otuweeko cash short idea into what this year kwa guno mwaka tumanyi fena gwa kulonda kulonda US president and never governor not governor president
and half of
what congressmen about the last year I don't remember so kati guno mwaka gwo kulonda musajja wo Trump n'omubbi wa akalulu Biden lwakuba simwesiga agenda kubba akalulu simanyi lwaki simwesiga naye gwe tubuulire how things are looking and what we should expect of Trump. Ali mawulire nnyo all for the wrong reasons obviously naye ye akyaliwo agambye it doesn't matter oba mugamba ki oba mugamba ki how are things looking?
Projections on Aziraga, Trump wins this election. If he gets on that ballot, he's winning. Because again, Trump would be president now if COVID doesn't happen. With no COVID, Trump is a president. COVID yaja, he pushed it, everyone is saying, people are dying. Like he messed it up so bad. But without COVID, he wins, a second term and is just finalizing his 8 years. Why do I think Biden is on his way out? First of all, in Yakaje, he's frail. Omulaba, we try to get physical fitness. Biden okuva ku stage just no mugamba boss ogenze ku left right okitegeera like everyone is seeing these things nibabeera bakupika bi steroid ubwongo boto wali abukuba steroid ne butereera okitegeera bobo okuzo bwe butandika okudeclininga no military physically baso omukuba steroid najja n'atambula n'alinya n'amadala ga Air Force One because bamuwadde akaweka akameze omusayi gutambula bulungi energy akirina but up here okitegeera ekyo kyokka. And of course a big part of this population believes agakaluba akabba bubbi. It could be 30%, but who are believing Trump bamubba bubbi. And for Trump's part of it, ye achache emphasizing even with the lawsuits eziriwo agenda mu court yakyagamba bamubba bubbi. I do not believe so, but I also believe US society enough forces behind what we see every day. Waliwo abasalawo nti twagala ono omuntu afuge, and if you don't have a big movement behind you tosobola babiitinga. Now babiitinga n'ogifuna entebe, that's when they come to you ne bakugamba okay kati wagifunye
twagala ABCD.
Now you're going to be successful olina okukola ABCD. Bw'otabikola tusobola n'okujja kenkya. Eyo group weeri. And so long as that group is existing, Biden has a chance. Because military, complex, and the one driving wars around the world because there's billions and billions of dollars. There's no one that has fed them in the past 10 years more than Biden. The military industrial complex. Every week, Bafulumiayo at least a minimum of $150 million to buy weapons. Now, those lobbyists and those companies, the Raytheons of this world, can do something to make sure this continues, and the person feeding that machine is Biden. Trump that Ukraine, the war in Ukraine is done. He's not going to fund it. Which take it. Israel, he loves Israel, so maybe that one continues. But for Ukraine, it's done. Kasta Jabwat. Now your leader by stopping a closure of government, but bill with Jabaga take him 60 billion for Ukraine. That's a lot of money that the companies and organizations that benefit from that will do anything to make sure the current regime continues so that they get a chunk of that. So Biden has a chance. If it's free and fair, I think Trump wins in a landslide because Biden
oh yeah.
But
I think Trump wabera ku ballot. Trump ngali ku ballot, I think nobody beats him.
Kasaji tukako but no way. There's no way.
Chibagezako okulwanira alime kubera ku ballot.
Ballots in Colorado, Maine, you see what they're trying to do. You know, aina immunity, presidential immunity, he shouldn't be appearing in these courts. There's no president. Nixon yava konga CIA ekute sente nebagamba drug cartels balete cocaine bamuguza America sente ezo baziwe CIA egula ebyokulwana se funding entalo public nebigwamu outcry muleta mucha drugs. He just resigned. He never appeared in any court of law. Ne Trump ataina na kyakoze kiri awo because abantu bagenda ne bekalakasa bayingide Congress ali mu court every day. Yagenda nagenda to the point that he checked into a prison. Nibakuba mugshot. What they are trying to do to him. And most times with political scientists, they will tell you, anytime you attack your adversary, or popularity, and popularity puts people into positions of power. Trump is more popular now because whichever ideas is carrying are good enough that we are trying to silence him. And that alone is going to put him in power. Unless, of course, because you never know. Now we Gandhi. There are so many forces at work here. Call away into, next thing you know, he can't stand.
Which is highly unlikely. Anyway, you get the coup. But Biden,
steroids.
Steroids.
He's being fed steroids.
Steroids for the brain. There's a joke here. Go on there. Elon Musk on Neuralink Jali Mokola. Kind of the steroids for the brain, because the Jagamba, your BMI, brain machine interface, a color implantable brain machine interface devices, again akuyamba. They implant them into the brain, and is able to establish the direct communication link between the brain and external devices. Mulimu neuroscience advancement, medical bichi, so kati yakugamba human AI integration. Wagenda okuteeka eyo chip mu bwongo obwo, and there is also symbiotic relationship between your phone and the brain. Twetaaga na calculator to do certain calculations. Whether always nangamba Julius 1 2 3 4 8 9 10 times 7 8 3 no mperawo answer because but for 2024 tenabeera available. Biden tebajja more.
I'm sorry. I know Shaf is going to say something about this. This is all process. Omusomesa anasomesa agati anasetinga exam ngobana asobola
ali kakati abantu abamu bagenda kuba genetically modified. Abantu bagenda kuba GMO egenda kuba human GMO nabo kati bagenda kuba baba genetically modified kati already genetically modified baba tandika dda kubanga tubadde tulya different DNA recombinations mu mmere. Ochulia batuwadde empiso ze batukuba ku COVID, that was also genetically modifying us. Kakati ogenda kugattako human brain interface. Kati awo mbutuufu Lambert kyabuuza. Kati teacher alina okubanga alina super software okubeera nti ajja okusomesa abaana bano.
Anti kati era wetulaga tewagenda kubeerawo byakusoma, teby'okusoma byaki. Kati olaba nga AI, ChatGPT walina almost everything. Webuuzabuuza kintu Unekuwa answer. That means you can download that app or software onto that chip. Jibatadde mu twego nga buli kimu okimanyi. Nzuka kiro nawa mwende ekyo nenkugamba Julius nsomera novel ya George Orwell 1984 n'ogisoma oba Animal Farm kyona n'ogisoma busomi word by word.
Anti naye neyo kundi AI nayo muntu yakitaddewo. Yasoma.
Thank you. N'obuzibu obuliwo bulala nti ebintu bino bikolebwa nti birimu profits and losses. Companies zino zi intendinga kufuna profits. So that means abantu abamu they're going to be left back. Not everybody is going to afford that stuff right away. Ochulia, it's not gonna be afena tugende ujama mti buli omu afune brain chi. Kakati in that way olabo go nyinyi okoze ekintu kukola kukuza kututwala on another level, more innovation and all that. Naye ate ogenda kuta economy ogitotya kubanga abantu bangi bogenda putting out of work. Not so many people are going to be put in those places where they can get these chips. Ochiwulira kakati you have almost 75% of the people left back. Ebita economy already tubadde turwanira economy kugitereza. Naye kakati bwobanga oyina ebintu ebi fast tracking poverty. How can you repair?
Kitunulire mu ange eno. Omusajja bamuyitanga batyoyo it wasn't Bill Gates, Steve Jobs yagamba at a certain point in life, like so many years ago, we shall be able as human beings to get these big computers as EZs or ENIAC, electronic numeric integrated circuit computer. At some point, but at some point it will be able to be held in a hand, in the palm of your hand. You near your device, and fast forward, iPhone nayenga. This is a computer, much more powerful than the computer used to take people on the moon. But do all people possess an iPhone? Just what percentage of the world population do you think buying a smartphone? Last year in Najisuma Kobagamba, 60% of the world population, 7 billion people, have owned a smartphone. 60%. That's a big number. Over half. The chips are affordable, but at least 50% of the iPhone were I think they were ridiculously expensive. But at right now, if 60%, if every 10 people you find, 6 have a smartphone, that's good progress. Kati cheap is why expensive in the okutandika, but kiyinza okuvanga okukwesanga nga omuntu atagirina tomanyi you don't know how to get anywhere. It's like driving without a GPS.
That's the end of you right there. That's the end of you.
Toina chip, toina wona wins agenda.
Toina chip obanga toina ID, oberanga toina mulimu unemployed, kuba buli mulimu gujja kugamba okola wano ino kuba ne chip. Because those are the ways kubanga ebintu ebino as humans usually tubeera mu ne fear. Tubeera ne fear okubeera nga tutandika ebintu bino because naddala ekintu kyoyingize kiri foreign object in your brain. Anytime it can spark ne kuba nofa kubanga nefe omutwe gwe tulina is masanyalaze okitegeera kati omuntu wagamba nti agenda kugenda munda abeere nga assaamu brain chip mu bwongo obwo. Of course you're going to have that fear ogaane kati bagenda kubireeta nga babireeta mu ngeri nti tebisobola gaanibwa. Kati bagambe nti company zijja kutuuka nga part of the interview bagamba naye mulimu guno gukuwa $15,000 naye osooka kugenda wali ne bakusamuka kangu nnyo bagenda kakkuba mu mpiso
teekawo mutwe
dakiika 5 dakiika 2 kajja kuba kawedde kati gw'otandika okuweyinga ogambe emitwalo 15 eya emitwalo 2 eya oba sigifunye nzirayo okubeera unemployed nga you have to take it naye so I mean
but actually it's this year we bagenda osooka okuteekamu omuntu the trial version the
human
first
trials
side egenda bagenda gikola mwaka kuno but remember Albert Einstein yagamba I don't know with what weapons World War III will be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Nze ndaba tugendeeyo already. Non nuclear weapons, sticks and stones. Like tugenda kuddayo eri gye twava.
Tulina everything tuddayo, tulina okuddayo twagala bwe twagala.
Imagine AI takes over, destroys the cities, destroys the power grids, buli kimu anarchy ensues. Buli omu ng'osanga munno omufumita bufumisi kito babuko bijjinja because there's no power, there's no internet, tewali kiriwo. What do we have? What weapon do we have now left? Sticks and stones. Kati ebino ebintu gwe bikwewuunyisa how someone thinks about that 100 years ago. Okitegeera ekintu ekyo.
Just think about it. Nti Einstein balaba ebintu ebyo ne balaba nti mbutuufu ku speed gye tugenderako ya waggulu naye teri kisinga kuleetera bintu bino nga kubeera nti twagala kubanga ebintu bino twagale tugaane. It's not just about innovation, it's about kola sente. Okiwulira kati this human greed ebika ne possibilities ezandibadde zikwata ebintu ng'ebyo ne tugala naye mwana eno tetugendayo, tugenda kwesaanyaawo naye because tutunuulidde ziri ssente okitegeera so tuba tugenda bugenzi mu maaso. Kati abasajja ba Einstein kyova laba those rich like those genius people they never get so rich because bo bagenda ne batunuulira ebintu ne baga kino kirungi naye kigenda kungasaamu omwezi gumu at the end of the day kigenda kundetera obuzibu ne bakireka ne baga asinza na kusainingako.
Actually they emphasize on your sente usually. Whatever they are trying to advance is technological advancement, sente is not at the forefront of their invention.
Yes, naye bano ba capitalists bano ba capitalists bano bonka abongeramu n'okwongeramu ssente bano ba entrepreneurs abajja ne bakola venture capitalists bo at the end of the day bagamba nja kuwa obukadde bwange 2 okiwulira just show me how we're going to get the money out.
But Julius,
kasabatandika okukifandinga it will never go back. Bakanga kimaze okukola ekikyamu kyakyo naye nga yagala gaana olaba just AI right now tugyeraliikirira okugamba nti damage egenda okukola kakati gwe ogatteko okubeera nti abantu gwe amagezi g'omuntu ogagatta mu computer. Do you know what it means?
It is so bad. Well, AI has its very good benefits and advantages, but if you look at the way it is going right now, let me give you an example. Google Obuguzi, I think the website is openai.chatgpt, something like that.
Yeah.
Chat.openai.com.
I've tried it already. Anything you put in mudachika bidi.
How do I steal money without getting noticed? How do I do never cost all the steps? Well, Google gena kugamba and all those other open AI companies bagena kugamba we try to filter out the bad things. But how much security do you think they have? Tebaswa clocking out byonna bisinga. Okitegeera. Nayenze mbadde nyabuuza Julius, if you're to get that cheap, would you get it? Titugenda kugulawo brain yo. It's not so big. It's I think it can kind of like maybe 2 millimeters, like almost half the size of your fingernail.
And nakugamba ekintu kimu as a black man and the history you've had on this planet, are you really going to make yourself are you going to raise your hand to be a guinea pig after your history says your kind have been guinea pigs all their lives? Kati nze ntuuse wano where I can say something before I get violated. Nera nteekeyo nti Mia. Listen, if it's forced on me, like nga gundi weyagambye, chef wagambye, at some point tuyinza otuuka nga kugamba omulimu weeguli naye osooka genda wa Dr. Gundi. At that point, it's something when these
COVID shoots
came. We were forced because tukola mu healthcare system bakugamba the only way you're going to work olina okugifuna.
Yeah.
And of course waliwo n'ekyo man wesigifuna nze natamu nze. I've been functioning for all my life. Seeing a chip. Why am I putting a chip in my head? Like, again, akuchusa chin kubulamu bwange chili so significant. Like simongama nti no fancha unless vagita them. Then I'm like, well, it's a life or death.
So information is power. Maybe for your job, imagine you're able to do or accomplish your job without the help of computer. If you're an accountant, nga go take mu butesi buli kimu okikola buti nga computer, or even much better and much faster. You know how much, or if you're an anchor, if
Umar,
prolific you will be.
Umar, nega kudamu ekintu ekyo ky'ogambye. Ngenda chikuletera in terms of philosophy. We've all defined humans and animals. And that's the same question I posed to you with introduction of AI to society. At what point is man going to lose the concept of free will? Bote kamu chipe no mutwego. When will you ever make a decision that pertains only to you as a person? Because kati chipe functioning, a recording olunaku lwonna ekuddiza information gye yagala n'okera ku makya n'ekugamba kati naaba genda yingira mu motoka avuga kweno speed mpaka ku mulimu parking wano sport wendi okitegeera. At what point are you making a decision pertaining you as a human being? Because that's the only significant thing we have against animals. N'otuuka ku motoka n'ogamba naye aye n'enkuba etonnya ab'oku mulimu baneerabire n'okomawo n'okuba essimu amusiki n'odda mu buliri. Bw'obeera olina eyo chip tosobola because it's a program erimu
ekuwa ebintu byonna in real time.
Code ziri bwe ziti traffic ogenda twala 47 minutes naye bw'oyita Lexington eza kola 32 katugende Lexington. So it's a program. It's numbers giving you a language that is interpreted in your brain directly. Now, if I lose that, what kind of human am I?
Good question. Good question to think about. But also, Shafi, we are getting to that stage. World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Tubiro netukayana nnyo ne tulowooza oba naye Kim Jong-un, nuclear, Trump, biki, anytime they are taking off that, the launch codes. Tuyinza tweralikidde ebintu bingi nnyo nga kata akantu agenda osaanyawo humanity is something very simple. Like losing free will. Human beings over the years, throughout our species history, we've been dominant. This is the safest time we have ever been. Since, imagine, why do I say this is the safest time? Right now, the the biggest problem je tulina nga abantu, okay, vaawo nti no tulina some parts of the world where there is famine and disease. N'obuzibu abantu basinga oba nabo ennaku zino is obesity, meaning we have too much to eat. Bwe buzibu tulina. So kyengezaako gamba, when we lose free will nga bw'ogambye, machines are going to take over as a more advanced species, more advanced than us. And once they do, they might say these human beings are very useless. They're just destructive. What use are they, to the community? In fact, machines in oxygen. As machines, the human beings are taking oxygen from us. Or, well, not taking oxygen, they are producing oxygen. Like oxygen the most advanced species in the universe, probably. Well, we don't know what lies out there. Aliens, but for us, as far as we know, is human beings. Imagine being someone out of this planet. Never gamba Earth eyo giraba. Waliyo ensolo laya n'ibiki byonna byonna gye biri tukuteekeyo ogamba nedda ssebo temunteekeyo mu jango. But somehow we have managed to find a way to tame these animals. They obey us. Tuteekawo game parks ne tuzigamba kati oli mu Action Falls oba oli mu Queen Elizabeth National Game Park naye bw'otuuka wano mu Katungulu City Town Center tosala ate zimanyi teziyingira mu town zikoma wali. We have managed to tame all the big animals. Ezimu tuzirese n'awaka waffe embwa. Okitegeera, they keep us safe from all the other, but they coexist because we still have free will. But take away that free will, Julius Chari Mukugamba. But that could be just one negative thing. Maybe taking away free will, chigana tuyamba nti abantu bagenda kutulimba nnyo. People who lie too much. Bagenda tebakyasobola kulimba. Okitegeera. Shafigena maaso.
Nze nja kutandikira ddala Julius wabadde. About free will. Bw'otunuulira ekintu kino sooka weebuuze. On whose benefit are they putting that chip in our head? On whose benefit? At the end of the day, chips zino zizze nga zigenda ku benefitinga era aimu yazo ya ku increasing a production. Oba munda jemba twala. The thing is, yes, tusanyuka nti to developing nze tufunya new scientific innovation and all that. At the end of the day, who is benefiting more? Tuzeyo mu bwa slave.
Yes.
Julius akugambye nti ogenda kusamu chip eyo gambe nti I can do this in this minute. I can do that in 10 minutes. I can read that book in 1 minute. Naye ani go benefiting amukola ekyo. Oyo akukozesa. Era that's why ekintu ekyo kyakolesebwa. Okiwulira? Era we bana akigezaako ne balaba nti tekikola mu bantu effectively nga bwe kirina kukola. Guess what? Bagenda kikola nga bakireeta robots zikole. Abantu babeere nga tebakyakola. All in all, ekintu kino kigenda kuba tekiri so disadvantage. Everything has a disadvantage and a disadvantage. An advantage and a disadvantage. So, tuyinza okuba so excited into we are innovating. Kati, tukirize tugane, waliwo generations and other aneno emirembe gyatusoka. Gyali so dynamic mu innovation. In that tetunakola bintu byezakola. Nete zaina computer system wezo. Because computer system wezo, yes, zigenda kuba of benefit for a minute and afterwards it's destruction. Mbuza lwaki kubanga nkudirayo ku anyo kyagambye computer genda kugamba this is your schedule. Weba kasawa bweziti, ozuka sawa bweziti, oyingire mmotoka sawa bweziti, vuga tuuka ku parking awali genda otuule muki teriyo nti wajja gamba omanyi nk'oyo kola wumalu njagala kwekozesa eyo chip tagenda kukkiriza ekyo because now only part of that chip is part of you gwe now only part of the chip okiwulira ate tokyaddayo yes tokyaddayo mabega nti ate obisangule buto otandike buto kakati ze entalo ze bagamba nti time will come yes kijja kubeerawo naye time will come abantu batandike wabeerewo badokita abeekalakasa agamba nti nsobola okujjanjaba nkikakugjemu be barebels abajja okufuuka abarebel nawe mufuuse barebels against the system. But why would we get in the system nga tumanyi nti system eno gye tutwala tugenda ku ending up nga tufuuse basibe? Nze if they use all the money in the world okubeera nti bongera okumanya how they can release all my brain capacity nga tebongeddemu any foreign thing, I would support that. Because this brain can do so much tetuna tapping into that.
Yes.
If they can use the money to find that, because I know there are very intelligent people out there who can find that. Nga bwe bazudde planes with DNA ne bakola CRISPR nti I can cut a polymerase chain nenzijawo kino nenzijawo ka mutation nensaawo ka DNA akakola ki akagenda okufuula omuntu ono better. If they've done that, let them put all that money to the brain, a human being brain, but the gem capacity kuba right now tukozesa not even 10% of our brain.
We don't even use 5%.
Not even
exactly.
5%, yes.
So could you imagine what we could do nga tufunye 20% over 30%? So I think the money should be thrown okusinga tufuula robots, because right now they're trying to make us robots, and guaranteed bw'onootuuka nga tokyasobola kumach jukira to breaking it down yetukoma okula we go down yetukoma okula to wearing out kyokka machine eri eyagala eyongere maaso genda maaso ogize mabega. So what will happen? Ebyo ebintu tulina okuddayo tutunuulire ethics, bioethics. So now, of course now it's too late because now it's all about paying money company neisao cheisao. We are past that now.
Tukirowozaako nnyo, but the primary goal of Neuralink is to advance the field of neuroscience and create technologies that can address neurological conditions, enhance cognitive abilities, and ultimately merge human intelligence with artificial intelligence. Now, one main example is you know how people are paralyzed. They have an accident and they can no longer move part of their limbs. So what this device, one of the devices, what the end goal is, you know, I think they take a part of the brain, over cortex, whatever they term it. Short circuit, you know, it shocks those parts of the brain that connect to the limbs. You know, omuntu naddamu okubeera ng'asobola functioning ng'asobola okumoving eruga lwasobola moving, you know, that in that department I'm all for it, and so far that is what they are preaching, but you never know, you know, because we know as it goes beyond it's able to do so many other things.
We know exactly where it goes, but we know where it goes after. Bajatandika trials kasita omuntu abadde ali mu wheelchair agezaako n'atambula, then trials will go to soldiers, then from there to the public. It usually works like that. Every invention omuntu gy'akoze etandika for the good, and everyone sees the positive sides of it until the same human is given money to try to do other trials, or other people will pick the same concept, use it for other trials, that are actually going to be so
Yes.
disadvantageous to humans. But Boba, what they say, and that's the story of human invasions. The internet na yo yaja tulaba, it's very good. Why wouldn't we use internet? Easy to communicate. Nyoga no muntu ali mu kyalo ku WhatsApp ngandi wano. And yet the internet has caused so many issues for humans. Human invasions zonna tutuukane tuzikyusamu. But ekintu kyenyagadde ku Shafi kyagambye, the generations before us. I think the last time we recorded twayogera ku pyramids. Well, like how pyramids. Oh, I think Kumaro Yagambo, but there's a time of day where the sun beams through a specific part of the pyramid. Then neya kamunda at a specific time of day. Now, even
according to the equinox, they followed the equinox system.
Katolaba, until now, we don't know how. Like no engineers explained exactly how they did it. But our civilization found them there. Tuagamba, but 2,000 years before, 5,000, which
4,000 years, yeah.
Which together. So, technology about the war. How significant? We did not live those times, so we do not know how significant it was. But it was technology then. Which together. Nafe turese. I think it's so human-like for us to believe that we're advancing and the only thing that is coming after us is robots or machines.
Disaster.
But what were about advancing before us? I think the species that came after was also humans. Because again, pyramids Ambagamba, it's super beings that existed there, never Zimba, never gained. But then humans came. But for our projection, to believing was were the epitome of knowledge that for it's going to be machines that we've created to come after us. What if there are other beings that are going to come that are not even machines? What's together? Say that, you know what? Tell me, I'm going to say dinosaurs were dominating Kampala in one day. What if there's another species again okujanga fe tugenze nga temaina roboti bwaffe just a few codes here they put all of them down, we take them scrap, we're starting over.
You never know which species is more advanced because the pyramids have been around for over 4,500 years. But then they will tell you after that time, the tallest man-made structure taller than the pyramids that was built by man. You would be shocked to know what it was. Eiffel Tower, 1889. So for all those years, but we never had the technology to
just 103 floors. That's it.
Yeah, it's so sorry. We were government, for all those years, but that structure yadako kubera almost the same level or even taller. I felt man-made structure.
I don't know.
So, do you think we are more technologically advanced, or people that live?
Have you heard the story of Gilgamesh? It's in that area of Syria, Babylon.
Yeah, Babylon.
Yeah, like 5,000 years ago. But like Kolaba, when this whole phenomenon of ISIS over ISO, like destroying artcrafts and everything, Gavaitamu desert Syria. Some of the temples those guys were destroying.
Iraq. The temples are in Iraq.
Gavakugamba zibaddewo for over 3,000 years, but the structures are still existing in a desert. Now, one of those temples, Jebagama, mwavaona mwalimu like Kobaka, It was like a template. You know, those like old things, the scribbles. It was over
time capsule.
ago.
Time capsule.
It existed. The projection was it existed during the time of Gilgamesh. That is like 500 BC. So evidently to evolve because Gilgamesh bagamba powers. To evolve is okutuuka fe abatalina powers nti ojja kutonyesa enkuba. Well, maybe some people do, but we don't. Many of us don't. Maybe neither tugenda kuddamu to evolve abantu nga balinga nabo bantu naye nga bo beeyita kirala nga they are the brightest beings.
Think about it. If we get wiped out in a global catastrophe like a nuclear or anything that would wipe us out, an asteroid, it wipes out part of the earth. Maybe the entire population would freeze. You know, like an asteroid, in the case of an asteroid, it can come, hit part of the earth, but does not destroy everything on earth. It is through the rising oceans and the freezing winters, you know, that most people will die. Negative food day, you know, from the impact. But no. Creatures come from that. After that, nebasanga ebisimbe nga Empire State Building, nebagenda mu New York. Imagine everything is wiped out, but New York remains as is. Nebeerawo for like hundreds or thousands of years.
Nesigalawo.
So if creatures come 1,000 or 10,000 years later, what do you think they would say about that's our civilization? Never sang ebintu ebyo, organize street lights, enguudo, subway system, don't you think they would say these people had magic or supernatural powers? Which is just engineering. So twins watuwaana nnyo business beings ezaaliwo edda naye nga nazo tezaali z'amaanyi nnyo nga tuzirowooza, like giving it all that power, but they managed. They were good engineers. I love engineering to the bone because you're next to Hashafi ajja kunkwata ensobi, next to creation. Next to God. Shafi mulaba. You can create something. Imagine, think about it.
No.
Encho sange kizimbe tekiriwo ne bagamba it's 200 floors up in the sky ate tekigwa.
Statement yo nsagalo oyitewaawo naye statement yo sinza gidisputinga nze ate kati nze gwe bajja okukwata ensobi kuba I'm a religious person ate I'm someone who preaches sometimes. Kati abantu abamu bo bajja kunkwata ensobi naye nga okukola statement eyo n'osigala nga acknowledginga the creator. Tofuuse creator gwe ng'omuntu o acknowledge nze nti creator gyali toba mukyamu because Katonda yennyini yatutonda yatuwa that ability to think and create and manifest whatever we've thought. Just like
ebitabo ebitukuvu ebimu sijja kugamba byonna naye ebimu bijja kugamba muli bakatonda nammwe muli bakatonda mu.
Yes, it's all interpretations that people get wrong and people jump up ne babanga oluusi abantu abamu bali so taken up by religion ne babanga bo bali extreme ne bakafuwaza nagaga oli mukafiri oyogera otya ekintu ekyo wayise Katonda. No. Sometimes it's interpretation. Omuntu oyo totegedde kimuli mu mutima. Oyinza omuyita mukafiri naye mu mutima gwe yasinga okwagala Katonda ne Katonda amanyi nti yaki omuntu oyo ayagala nnyo Katonda amwagala. Naye kakati gwoze owulidde statement omutadde in a category omuyise ki. So I cannot come out ne kugamba nti oba nti because I've listened to your statement. I know what you mean. You know, Because we all know no one can be God. He's absolute. He's infinite. None of us are infinite.
So Chembadengeza kugamba is people have been able to build all those beautiful structures. Like when you look at modern engineering, even bibakoze nogenda ku Hoover Dam. Like niza no babuza gwe ibintu bikibiwulabye mu nsi flight enyonyi okubuuka n'ebanga esoloberayo for 14-15 hours without coming down. Nogamba nti abantu bakikoze for years and years and years and years, and it's, you know, now ebibayinza obutabirabako but bibalabako ne basanga bridge, waliwo ezo bridge eziri China ezakabi, waliwo underwater tunnels. You somehow find a way to do all those things. No, kati petuli tugamba bana pyramids zino pyramid ezo tuzaba tizamanya, because I think the pyramids bagamba it's 1/42300 scale of the earth. Ezo measurements ezo bakozesa okugipimanga bw'obigatta n'okubisaamu n'okola ki, you get so many things that align with the earth. Maybe bamanyi math ne physics mungi okutusinga. Naffe twalina ba Einstein abagamba no, you know, energy is equal to mx squared.
Theory of relativity.
Theory of relativity. Mushara chembeza kubagamba is we acknowledge the people that came before us, but in the same sense, people that are living nabo we bali ba amanyi. So Neuralink here, nayo, it's one of those things that might be made for just our generation. Gamba na ye. How do these beings connect the brain to a phone? Kitege. Edda waberanga abantu abagamba nti osobola okuyunga omuntu. Manya abantu abayunga, like gumba likumenyese, you know.
Akuyungira ka.
Omuntu nakuyumba nga tazze uwunga.
Yes.
Through Bluetooth. Through Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Nakamba. Chakuma chaku sawa 2.
Yeah.
Tunula side eno omusana nga gukufesinzemu oba wekiikamu katono ango bweti nze nja kutandika.
Kati eyo. Awo nyini nga tovuddewo. That's what I've been talking about. There's a lot of things our brains can do. Naye nga tebannabirisaakingako. Lambert, ekintu kyayogerako sebo kituufu. Gye balinga omuntu akuyunga nakugamba bwe bunokeera keera ku makya saa 12 tuula kabalazako tuula bwoti nakuyunga ate nawona.
No,
it's not
I'm sorry. It will be hard for you to convince me that it's possible.
That's the thing. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of technology.
Kati Julius.
How does it happen?
Kati kankugambe. Ochimanyi nti nno nga nakutte simu eno. Nenkugamba, you know what? I can send you, I can record you neweraba, and at the same time nso okuweereza ekifaananyi kino muzadde wali Uganda. Nga if you've never heard of that concept, many computer engineers who died in 1990 no bagamba nino kisoboka ekintu ekyo, wireless fidelity, internet, Bluetooth, bagamba it's impossible. Or you know banga otaddeko at least a wire, there has to be some kind of connection.
Is a physical thing. Kiringo kungamba nti oli wuwo kyafi leka tula mu dirisa ngenda kukuba oluyi ku mutwe.
Exactly. Kati
kino ekintu kyenkugambye, it's almost like that, because how do you transfer files between just wirelessly?
Kangezeko okunyonyolamu katono nnyo
physical.
Anti Lambert kangezeko okunyonyolamu katono wadde ability sigirina naye that is kinetic energy. The same energy they bakozesa okukola teleportation is used.
Not real.
You say it's not real, but it's real. It is real, Sabo. That is kinetic. Katiganda kankuwe homework today. Gendo someku kinetic energy mo metaphysics.
Metaphysics, kinetic energy,
quantum physics.
Kinetic energy is energy possessed by an object to its
jebakoleramu teleportation, Sebo.
Mujo sanga be dependence on mass and velocity, scalar
quantity, transfer. Ebintu ebisinga bye tuyita nti sorcery, bye tuyita nti magic, bye tuyita nti chi. Tubiyita ebyo because gwomuntu akiyita obeera tokimanyi how it works.
Yeah, that's true. Because you don't understand it.
Yes, and you can bwobanga oba dokiraba oba oli akikunyomeza osobola okugamba nti there is no way it exists bwobanga tokirabangako. Not until bwokiraba n'ogamba how is that possible. Kati abantu bano bakozesa ebigambo ne batuleetera ebigambo technology ne batuleetera physics ne batukola ki ebigambo ebyo bwe tusenga twali tubiina mu our culture languages oba oli awo byandibadde is not technology oba oli awo twandibadde tubiyita bufuusa okitegeera. So I will tell you nti omuntu asobola okusitula entebe yo Lambert n'agijja mu nnyumba yo ng'ali mu nnyumba yange n'ojja n'okyala n'akugamba nti entebe yo yiiryo si yeyo etudde awo nga gwe wabadde ojja n'omugamba nti Lambert Shafi nzija wuwo entebe yo gireseeyo eka n'ajja n'akugamba nti entebe yo yiiri si yeeyo kwe gambwongo bwo n'ogamba yatuuse ddi wano oba okitegeera. That is teleportation, Sebo.
So
kati n'okuyunga gye kuli Sebo.
Ekyo ekyokuyunga tokiwakanako.
Ngenda kukola homework naye.
Ekyo. Ate lwakuba kiba kibi sijja kusabira kumenyeka kugulu nandi kusabidde omenyeko okugulu. Kufunyira omuntu akuyunga. Togenze ku mass geno.
Tomusabira ekyo.
But do you understand why I would have many questions about something?
Yes, I do understand.
I've heard about it, by the way. In Uganda back then, like I had people do it. Of course, as you grow up, like this is basically my, let me say, predicament with religion. Just use predicament for lack of a better word. Now, as you grow up and more knowledge you attain, you question things around you, which take years. Back then, when I was in primary school and someone said in Nagamba, maybe akunyumiza kugamba waliwo omuyunzi oli mulungi nnyo towetagana genda mudiro lya kikolero oli okitegeera. At that point you believe it and you're like, oh wow. Then when you grow up you start questioning these things in Uganda. Wait. Okuyunga, it involves someone getting the bone na take over either in its original position, massage the tendons around it, okitegeera. Kati gochikolo cha by Bluetooth ng'oli eri.
Kati choino manya Julius. There are things in this world that are beyond our control. I'll give you something, an example. Have you heard about ekintu kye bayita Nikola Tesla nga found a way to, because he's the father of electricity as we know it. Wadde America baganya okiwa ono musajja wabo.
Bamupa man lwakuba teyali mu America. That's why they did that.
Thomas Edison, I think.
Yeah, Edison.
But he's a fraud, Or yali amanyi okukola sente ye, like most Americans. He found a way to put it out there because initially Nikola Tesla yagakola amasannyalaze nga gali available for the entire world free. Nikola Tesla found a way to connect the earth yonna to electricity wirelessly. Wireless electricity. Nga teri bya cable, teri bya chi wireless.
Just River Nile wali ku
teri bya River Nile, teri bya
teri Bluetooth, teri internet.
So do you know how much when chikunyonyola wano kiba kizibu okutegera nti no, how can you transmit electricity without any wire, any cable, any physical kind of muti or chi or anything, zero? But he found a way to harness the earth's energies.
I've heard of that concept.
Which tegere? And his complete work is there. When he died, all that work got lost. They tell you FBI
seized confiscating
everything. It will come at some point. So you're telling me omuntu aso connecting ensen and you light up the entire world. N'amasannyalaze agali wireless. Ntate kizibu just okuyunga just eri gumba lyo.
Because this
wireless. That is even easier.
Lambert.
Okuyunga gumba would be easier. So kyebadengeza ogamba as I conclude is what your theorem or physics is about work energy theorem. You know, kinetic energy is related to work through the work energy theorem, which states that the work done on an object is equal to the change in its kinetic energy. Yiyo gye bali mu kugezaako kunnyonnyola nti obeera eri tuula kabalazako lwakuba kati wano abazungu bo bagezaako kubinnyonnyola mu lulimi gw'ojotegeera kinetic energy work theory. Jjukira oli omuyaya tomubuuza teri byamubuuza naye ogenda bikola otya oyagala kuwona oba toyagala kuwona.
Ali ababikola tebabisoma na mu kiraasi
babuuza
bakikwata mu taichi
era bonna ajja mugambe nti bino binsomesa mu physics simanyi
ate ntojja bikusomesa but for us we love explanation. Yajja kugamba either oyagala kuwona oba toyagala kuwona genda oba oyagala kumbuuza ebibuuzo sigenda kuwa answer.
Nekira Julia kyenjagala nkugondezeemu when you start thinking about this life buli kimu n'otandika kirowooleza mu physical being oba matter then oba weerimitinze. As humans we are created as in physical body naye in a spirit, so even other things are in spiritual. Kati ebintu bino ebimu we biba bikolebwa, someone who is doing it taps into the spiritual time and the spiritual entities that do stuff like that. Of course, not everybody knows how to use that. Ebyo bye bintu bye tulina kati okolamu research. Kubanga, why are we not tapping into our abilities nga human beings is because we've not known to use to connect a human body and its soul. Because when a soul yo, muli two different entities. But if you can manage okubeera nti obimaginga ne jibanga biri sublime nga bikolera wamu, you'll be the most powerful entity. Kati these people who are powerful, they know how to tap into that energy. Era abazungu bye bayita quantum physics. Bo babitutaamingira names ne babatwala ne mu ssomero okubayigiriza. Abasobodde obiyiga naye be batono. So kitwale nti omuntu ono akola ekintu kino abeera ayita mu physical. Kati saagala okirowooleze mu ddiini kuba wonna okireeta mu ddiini ojja kuba okidisputinga right away. Gwe kitwale nti okirowooleza mu another perspective. Because you as a human being, your body is not you. Your body ejja kufa esigale wali evunde osigale ng'okyaliwo okyali mulamu. So just like you being a spirit, and the brain and the body and everything else has its own spirit.
So kati Julius kangambe chintu chimwe kya. You know how they say mothers can, not even mothers alone, but parents, most parents can communicate. Like a message, like for instance, your daughter or your son is not fine. And you're doing something and somehow you feel uneasy. You know, what which to change to bokube simu ewaka. Bagambira unti banango na agudde abadde adduka ku madara n'agwa. Okitegere, but you felt it
somehow.
So, you felt it somehow. I think that's kituufu.
Yeah.
How would you explain that? Because that is not quantifiable. It's not physical. It's energy. So how do you explain that energy?
Even additional to that, exactly that example, actually easiest, you can start practicing this. Kino kyongenda kikusomesa gwe starting or chi practicing. Osobola okutandika bw'obanga obadde olowooza ku muntu n'omulowoozaako ennyo. No concentrating nti omulowoozaako. Okimanyi nti asobola okukubira essimu ng'ogambe nti njagala nkubire. Nakubira.
I've heard about that actually.
Ekyo nange nakyoliyako.
Now, nagamba, oh my God, obwedda ndi mukulowooza ngamba ngina kukubira biki katira gw'okubye.
Kati there is tokiraba ekyo nti kibadde random naye waliwo abakikola nga bakipracticinga nga amanyi nga bw'asobola okimakinga just like that. So you can practice that. Nechi happening. Omuntu n'omulowoozaako najja nakukubira. N'omugamba njaga kati onkubire. Gwe ng'omaze omulowoozaako nakukubira. So that is the spiritual, the ether. Actually, Bobo tunuulidde what Einstein was talking about, the ether. That's all the power of the ether. If we can tap into that power, lwakuba ebintu bino tebabitubuulira mu kubitumalirayo. The same ether era ye ani eno Nikola Tesla gye yatapingamu okutegeera amasannyalaze nti nsobola okuleeta balubu zange nenzisa mu desert. Bwe ndaba sayini bweti ne bweti nentandika okufuna amasannyalaze nentapinga ne gaconnectinga wali. That's life for you. There's a lot we don't know.
So bajja kuyunga ng'oli awo w'omuddiro lyo.
Tukadde mu bintu birala nnyo man.
Kumenyeka. Naye. Let me tell you, and this is not me being, like just being controversial or anything, or just looking to understand things I've never heard of. I've heard of these things. But now in Nagambi, at some point you question whether what you are fed then is actually reality. Like I said, I heard people do it, but I've never seen anyone do it.
Yes, I know.
So,
ebintu bingi olanga ebagamba amaaso g'omuddugavu gali mu ngalo. Ekyo inasooka kwata ku kintu to believe that it's actually real. Naye because in our society, as we grew up, we had so many things, and of course, stories from the previous generations were only passed on by word. So, owulire ebintu bingi. Sometimes you grow with that knowledge. Some other kids may be Boba cow, but some of us, those stories replayed over and over. Katigundi, Yakolanga, what, Then at some point, the story pops up in your head, Gamba, but can this be real?
So kakati.
Kati wetuli wano okubuuze nakiwulirako nti bayunga abantu.
Ekibuuzo ky'obuuzizza kirungi.
Naye, how how realistic is it? Like now you're explaining there's another way you should look at life, not by what is physically present.
Yeah.
But how many people look beyond what is physically present?
Life is not just matter.
What is reality?
Mm.
What do you know as real? Because omuntu mulajja kugamba reality is just an illusion. Omulala agambe there is a simulated reality. Omulala akugambe there is illusion versus reality. Mwawulako concept eyo ya red pill, blue pill.
Yeah.
You know the matrix. Red pill, blue pill. So nabawo power of perception, nabawo human machine interface, natuba existential questions. Bingi, what is reality? Reality jomanyi go right now. You're feeling here tuli wano ku podcast tunyumyamu, is that reality? Oba twebase somebody else is controlling it, or somebody else is manipulating our reality. Okitegeera, what is reality? What is real?
That is true.
Wali olooseeko ne weebaka n'oloota, the dream inside a dream. Very few people get to experience that. Very few people. Like mu kirooto kyo munyini n'olooteramu. And usually it is something very scary.
Yeah.
And you're like, I wish I could wake up. And you wake up from the first dream.
Yes.
And you're like, oh my goodness, I've woken up, but it's still true. It is very scary.
Nature chintu shaft ya tugamba. Actually, when we had just started Bantu podcast, Shafi agambe chintu the connection between the soul and the being and the body,
mind, and spirit.
Then maybe even if it's months, no tukaonoga, but I've
deja vu.
But I've been here before. Yenga physically, you have never been there. But wagenda
your spirit was there. Your soul was.
That has happened to me multiple times. But no. Then
some people feel that is a glitch. It's like a glitch. In a video game, there is a glitch. Then they are trying to correct it.
That has happened. I'm like, no, but
there's a glitch in the matrix. People are trying to correct the players, the real big players. It could be good, it could be any the big people. But there's a correcting a glitch here.
Those are the people who believe in the simulation.
Yeah, I'm one of them. Nay, tujideke tujajogerako podcast edako probably. I give you my reasons and give me your reasons as well why you believe or not, because it's controversial. Some people will give you reasons and they would all make sense. But at the same time, we try to look at it in a balanced way. You know what? This is why a simulation would not be possible. Now, any reasons? Because one has a sense. So it's now up to you to make your own deduction and understanding. Church sense. Which together. So I don't know, probably we can talk about it next time. Salongo Fahad atwe chaloza ne Joey. For now, does tukome wano unless mwena
yakatale
Nchecho katubasabire abasono mutandiko kuwangula ku mipiira tusabire omwagira timu ki mu Africa Cup of Nations omanyi eyamwe teriyo kati mwagira ki
sinatola nange.
Ivory Coast as a country intrigues me. Chobola nadenja kulaba opening ceremony because of the changes they've undergone recently. Kulaba how everything is being run, and there's this new interest in that part of West Africa because of these kids so I personally want to see whether they are going to champion what we think they came in with, which together. So I have interest there. Mali, Niger, like that region. So everything they do, I'm interested.
Man, kuba kati tubadde tulinze nnyo gundi Victor Osimhen yateebye leero fine.
Nigeria.
naye alemeddwa goolo nnyingi omanyi
bagudde draw
sitters
1-1 with Equatorial Guinea.
alemeddwa goolo nnyingi.
But tomorrow there is an interesting match. Enkya waliyo Senegal Gambia.
Gambia used to be good.
Gambia used to be good.
Senegal
Gambia.
Senegal,
of course, reigning champions.
They are giants in Africa, but Gambia back in the day, they used to be good.
I tell you, Gambia, watch out for it this year. I don't know how good they are this year. Of course, in Cameroon.
I don't know. Cape Verde ina timu ya good drone. Cape Verde yatandika ne timu emanya kapira. These things.
Cape Verde kubye Ghana Black Stars.
Basipana baguza abasipana omanya abasipana baguza aba Brazil. Baguza aba Brazil kuba boogera lu Brazil.
Cape Verde yagezalako qualifying for World Cup because balina kuzanya ne African teams. Nga buli omwamba kuba bukubi gola abiri. No, they even beat Ghana.
Baguza aba Brazil bajje mu Portugal mu aneno mu Portugal. Naye nga sindagenda bannaye njagala kubasiibula nze njagala kudduka. Naye ekintu kye tutoogeddeko nawulidde waliyo another epidemic mu Zambia, cholera. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. Yeah, hopefully it's not so bad because I've heard waliwo come and see sending some kind of treatment, ne vaccine. So it's on a big scale. So simanyi.
You said
Gambia.
Zambia.
Tulina okukyogerako ekintu ekyo somewhere somehow.
It is Zambia. It is munsi.
So.
Charles.
Naye simanyi.
Owulira.
Simanyi badde bankubira naye mbadde mbagala tukiwulirize nnyo.
Anti nsi ki gy'ogambye?
Zambia. Yes.
Okay.
Tujja tandikira awo.
Naye mbagala nnyo bannange mweraba. Nze awo nsibulidde.
Okay, Julius, olina akatalekeka?
Era nebaza abantu kujja ku continue ng'otuwuliriza ebigambo tubirina ebiyamba tugezaako bisharinga.
Kale.
Mwebale twegatta kutunyumyemu.
Tujja kutandikira awo wiiki ejja. Mwebale kutwegattako. Leero kabadde kawanvu mukagumiikirize but yeah. Tujja batusharinga ku platforms ez'enjawulo YouTube, Google Podcasts, Spotify wamu ne Apple Podcasts. Tetuyinza kusukka wano banaye mubeere bulungi mweraba.